for this new ASMR chess video. Today for you a really nice game which is called the Peruvian Immortal, played by Esteban Canal with the white pieces during an exhibition in Budapest in 1984. And Esteban Canal is a famous Peruvian grandmaster who died unfortunately in 1981 at the age of 85 years old. He has, for example, given his name to a few variations in the chessboard, the most famous of which is probably the Canal attack with this bishop b5 check in the Sicilian, also known as the Moscow variation, but probably more often than not referred to as the Canal attack, which is an opening that a lot of grandmasters still play nowadays. And it's not the only line that Esteban Canal gave his name to. There are several others, but I'm not going to show them to you in this video. In this video I'm going to show you this game against an unknown player with the black pieces, and it's a Scandinavian defense. So far, nothing crazy. Knight c3, attacking the queen. There are several moves possible. There is queen to d8, queen to d6. There are some queen to e5 or e6 ideas, but Esteban Canal goes for queen to a5, a popular idea as well. And we have d4 and c6, one of the main moves in this position. We have knight to f3 and bishop to g4, pinning this knight to the queen. Bishop to f4 and e6. So far, black is playing well, nothing crazy. You can see that there is this pawn structure that you can often find in a Slav defense as well, but the light square bishop is outside of this, so the pawns on the light squares are not really an issue, and this dark square bishop is going to have a nice diagonal. So this is a solid play for black. We have h3, bishop takes f3, and queen takes f3. Again, nothing bad, nothing crazy so far. But don't worry, just going to have a nice ending to this game. We have bishop to b4, pinning the knight to the king, and we have bishop to e2. We are not really worried about this capture, because after queen capture, queen takes back, and pawn takes queen. We do have two pawn islands over here, but we also do have the bishop pair and nice control over the center, with some open files for the hooks. So this is a very decent position with a slight advantage even for white. So this is not the game, but this is not something that we are afraid of with the white pieces. That's why Esteban Canal played bishop to e2, getting ready to castle. And we have knight to d7, which, as we are going to, well, no, it's not the mistake yet, my bad. And we have a3, and this is here that the player with the black pieces thought that he was smart, because he played king to c8, so a long castle, saying basically you cannot take this bishop because you would be hanging your rook, and that would be bad. So this is a capture that you cannot play. takes rook and king to d2. Can you see the problem? For black, we have queen takes h1, and now there is mate in 2. Can you find it? Queen takes c6 check, and because of this bishop that is controlling the c7 and the b8 squares, there is only one legal move for black, is to capture this queen. But that's not a really good move because of bishop to a6 checkmates. You have this beautiful checkmate, this combination of the bishops blocking the queen, and black pieces blocking the escape squares, and there is nothing that you can do. No piece that you can put in between, and nowhere that you can go with the king. And this is actually called Budden's mate, which is actually a checkmate pattern that happens relatively often. So just put it back one more time. Queen takes c6, pawn takes c6, and bishop to a6 checkmate. Now if we go a few moves back in the game, well, in this position, once you capture this pawn, there's not much else to do with black because this rook is threatening the queen. And if the queen goes away, you're going to have the checkmate anyway. You cannot go here because you're threatened by the bishop. You cannot go here because you're threatened by the pawn. Here, by the knight. Here, by this bishop. And if you were to go anywhere else, there would just be checkmate once again. And if the king was over, if you take this rook, and when black plays king to d2 instead of blocking with another pieces, thinking that you have won the exchange, and in this position you realize after king to d2 that you made a mistake, well, there is still nothing that you can do, because if you don't capture this rook, you're going to lose the queen, and you cannot move the queen away thinking that you cover the a6 square that's needed for the bishop to check the king, because on a2 is covered by the knight, so is a4. a3 and a5 are covered by the pawns, and queen a6 is covered by the bishop, and even more than that. After pawn recapture, pawn takes, you have now queen to c6 checkmate, which is another important checkmate pattern that happens relatively often. That's important to know, at least to make some threats in your own games. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I do this game. I was researching some things on Budden's mates for a future video that I want to make, focusing on one checkmate pattern, and the first one that I want to do is Budden's mate, and I found this game and I thought it was a nice video to make in preparation of that other one. So if you want to watch that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. It would mean a lot to me. And on that note, I wish you a good day, a good evening, a good night even, if you're watching this video.